Welcome to Jennifer with Coffee, a mindset podcast for people who are looking for real change. I'm Jennifer Lauer, writer, yogi, and fitness fanatic. Lately, I've been having lots of coffee meetups, long, honest conversations that delve into mindset, identity, choices, and habits that shape our lives. I kept thinking how I wanted to share these conversations, so here we are. Each episode moves in 3 beats: an inspirational story, an interview with thinkers, builders, athletes, and artists, people who want to share their own transformations. And we'll end with a brief meditation to practice calming the nervous system. If you've been connecting with the stories and conversations here, I've also written some fiction that explore emotional spaces. One is an AI dystopia, and the others are part of a paranormal mystery series. So if you're ever curious, you can find them on my website, jenniferleelauer.com. So my inspiration today is really more of a tip or a mental tool to put in your toolbox if you find it useful. It's basically the act of counting down instead of counting up. Now, when I was doing my yoga teacher training, we learned that when you count down from 10 to 1 instead of from 1 to 10, it gives the brain this little foreshadow of finishing. So it feels better to count down from 10 to 1 because when you're counting from 1 to 10, it kind of feels like you could be counting forever. You don't necessarily know when it's going to stop. At least when you're counting backwards, you know you're not going to go into negative numbers. For example, if you're holding a pose for a long time, or if you are doing push-ups, let's say, and your teacher is counting down from 4, 3, 2, 1, you know that you're almost there, you're almost complete. And so I've used this little trick in many different ways, but I noticed at the gym is probably the easiest one. Sometimes if I have to do, say, 20 of an exercise, I'll count the first 10 up and then I'll count the second 10 back. So I'll count to 10 and then I'll say 10, 9, 8, because for some reason that little mental trick just makes it more doable, more appealing. Anyway, I find this little mental trick to be helpful, and I hope that maybe you could use it too. So next time you have to count something down, try counting it down instead of counting it up and see if it helps. Hello. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different than usual. Today's episode is a solo episode. I've been getting some feedback on the podcast, and one of the things that has been kind of surprising to me, I guess it shouldn't be, but it has been really special, is the 3 breaths at the end of each episode. Now, when I was trying to figure out what this podcast was going to be like and how I was going to format it, I really wanted to include my yoga and meditation because I find it so helpful for me, and I really wanted to share it somehow with the podcast. Ending each episode with 3 intentional breaths is a very small way to get people in touch with their body and a nice way to ground. I can't believe that is one of the biggest comments I get from people who listen, is that they just love the 3 breaths at the end and that they always do it. It just makes my heart so happy because I wasn't really sure about it. I listened to many interview podcasts or podcasts about writing or transformation or mindset or wellness, kind of the things that I discuss here, and then also have this breath work at the end. And I'm very grateful that it is something that you are enjoying as well. In light of that, I have been asking around to my friends what are some breathwork themes that they would like to work with, if there is something that they would like to take some breaths and think about. In my research with just, the people that I see, I got some feedback, and one of the subjects that came up multiple times was money. And so today I'm going to devote my solo episode to a money meditation. What that means is I'm just going to offer a meditation, and we are going to think about money. Now, I consider money an energy. It's really just being in the energy of what that means for you and welcoming in the abundance of money and letting go of some of your fears and worries about money. That is what we're going to do for the solo episode today. Thank you for joining in. This one will be a little longer than usual, so get comfortable and we'll go ahead and do a money meditation. Find yourself in a comfortable seat. If possible, close your eyes. Allow your body to relax. Place your hands in your lap, palms facing the sky, and just drop in and relax, allowing your natural breath. What if you could let go of the past and stop worrying about the future and just simply be in the now? Bring your attention to the breath and notice as you inhale the air nourishing you and then the breathing out. Bring awareness to the feeling you might have about money. Where do you feel it? Is it in your mind, in your gut, in your heart? See if you can comfort that part of you, holding it in a cozy blanket. Consider placing a hand on your heart and the other on your stomach. And breathe, noticing the expanse of the inhale and the compression of the exhale. Money is energy. How you feel about it is informed by the stories you tell yourself about it. How your parents saw it, how you see it now. Sometimes it's based on an event or several pivotal events in your life. Can you gather all of those stories, those feelings, into a bouquet of money energy? And feel how tight we hold on to those stories, those energies. Notice your hand holding the bouquet and see if you might loosen your grasp. What if we let it go? Surrender the energy, allowing the feelings we've had to float away. How does it feel to release the old energy? Is it freer? Can we breathe here? Attention to the inhales, bringing air in and filling up our body, and then a slow exhale where we let the breath leave. A few more breaths here. When we think of money energy, we're often yearning for freedom. Freedom from stress, from bills, from the weight of responsibility. And even when we have enough, we worry about worthiness, if we are being good stewards of our wealth. Freedom is the feeling it will all work out. It will be okay. I'm doing my best and give and receive in the highest good for all. Let's get into a few mantras to allow our money energy to flow. Money flows easily to me, always. Money flows easily to me, always. Money flows easily to me, always. Every dollar I spend mindfully and responsibly returns to me multiplied. Every dollar I spend mindfully and responsibly returns to me multiplied. Every dollar I spend mindfully and responsibly returns to me multiplied. I'm surrounded by wealth and abundance and receive and give freely. I'm surrounded by wealth and abundance and receive and give freely. I'm surrounded by wealth and abundance and receive and give freely. Bring some attention to the body, where your body meets your seat, hands open to receive, heart shining forward. Allow the light of money energy to shine on your face, releasing all worries and fears, and opening to your most abundant self. Let's take 3 final breaths of abundance here. Inhale, receiving the gift of abundance, holding that gift at the top. Exhale all our worries, our stories, our fears. Inhale, receiving, hold at the top, and exhale, squeezing out any extra air. Then our final inhale, hearts shining in our energy, hold at the top, and exhale long and slow. Thank you for being in your abundant energy today. May you feel freedom in your money energy, receiving and giving. This week's coffee shout out goes to the coffee shop called File Systems of Coffee on Melrose in Los Angeles. It's a fun combo of coffee and technology, and I tried the cold brew and it was great. This is not an ad. This is just my own experience of going out and having coffee around the city, places that I've been that I've really enjoyed. So if you're ever on Melrose and you haven't tried File Systems of Coffee, you should. It's really good. Thank you for listening to Jennifer with Coffee. Follow us on Instagram at Jennifer with Coffee and on Substack. This has been a Kings of Content production. Music by Oreo CC.